Welcome to The Project. Tonight we speak to the elderly Aussie who's had her house broken into 17 times while she's begging for tougher laws on youth crime.
Also, an incredible story about a quick-thinking community, a hero stranger and an app that helped save an Aussie kid in a dire medical emergency.
Plus, Australia's Prince of Comedy, Joel Creasey, graces us with his royal laughs.
And the study that's apparently found women find angry men less intelligent. So, good news, Pricey. That means the ladies love you for your looks and money.
I might have something more to say about this.
Look forward to it. We are live from the lands of the cooler nation with, I think, the very attractive Stephen Price.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's get into our top stories now. And Peter Dutton has claimed he's going into the upcoming election as the underdog. That's despite fresh polling showing 55% of surveyed Aussies prefer the coalition on a two-party preferred basis. It's not good news for Labor, who were hoping last week's Reserve Bank rates decision would work in their favour. 6 in 10 respondents said the cut would not change their vote.
Rescue crews are continuing their desperate search for Paul Barning, who went missing during a fishing competition north of Newcastle yesterday. The 58-year-old was thought to have been attacked by a shark when he was dragged off his boat. But today, the New South Wales Game Fishing Association has disputed those claims, calling this a freak accident.
Yeah, look, there was definitely no shark attack as such involved. It was absolutely just an absolute freak tragedy that's occurred during the attempt to capture a fish.
In sport, what happens in Vegas sometimes finds its way back home. Canberra Raiders players Hudson Young and Morgan Smithies have been disciplined by the club for an altercation in a Las Vegas hotel room. It's understood the players clashed over a booking mix-up and were later evicted from their accommodation. Hotel security thought one of them was wielding a weapon. It turned out to be an inflatable baseball bat.
God.
I'm shocked an NRL player got in trouble in Las Vegas. And it appears our frustrations with being kept on hold are justified. A new report has found the average Aussie spends around 11 hours on hold per year when trying to resolve issues with companies. It also takes about 5 days to get a resolution. Telcos are the worst offenders, while government services and banks ranked poorly for overall customer support.
Cool.
No patience for any of that. I can't do it.
So what do you do then?
I turn up there in person most of the time.
Oh, you go
Because
in.
I don't think you can... They can't make you stand around and hold.
You should
go down to the local council. I didn't park in that parking spot. Rip up my ticket or else.
Wow. You should go in with like a speaker and play them your own hold music, like in person.
That sounds more like something you'd do.
Yeah, I'll go in there with Enya and they'll be like, "What are you here for?" I said, "Just hold on 1 second. Listen to this." Sorry, someone will be here in a second.
That'll work.
Yeah,
Aren't they trying to push it all onto the bots to help you?
Yeah.
What's a bot?
Oh, it's like AI. It's AI generated. You can chat to someone. But
like
the
a
crazy
robot.
thing
Is it a real person or not?
No, it's a robot.
No, but it only works at certain times.
Yeah, so it's...
Like, I've tried to use the bot, and it's like, oh, sorry, the bot doesn't start till 9.
Yeah, because the bot union decided it was overtime.
How does that even work?
We've got to break up these bot unions.
Yeah, we
I've
do.
been saying it for a long time.
You have been saying it forever.
Forever. I believe in, individual contracts for the bots. Anyway, the AFL... Don't get me started on it. The AFL season is almost here. I'm excited. Swans, big year, I can tell you. Today, all the captains fronted the media in Melbourne, and see if you can tell which team the bloke opening the door here supports. So here he is, opening the door. They come through. All right, Toby Green. He popped in from GWS. Now, door closed. Unlucky, Port Adelaide. Open the door yourself. Oh. How about... Now, the craziest thing about that is it's fascinating to finally see the only GWS supporter. I've heard about this guy. Finally got some eyes on him.
Turns out he was a Crows supporter, actually.
Oh,
It's more an anti-Port thing.
Fair enough. It's
Sorry
the rivalry, I understand.
Okay. All right. Youth crime. This is a political hot potato that is firing up communities around the nation. Locals left reeling and feeling afraid and unsafe. Today, there are fresh calls for all levels of government to get tougher.
Stronger laws, safer streets! Stronger laws, safer streets!
Kempsey, New South Wales, a community on edge, rising up against what they say is a youth crime wave.
Our community has seen a spike in the level of violence with knife crimes, with machete crime, and our community is not feeling safe in their own homes.
Residents rallying to demand action, calling for tougher bail and sentencing laws.
If you're out on bail and you commit another serious crime, you no longer get bail.
Criminals fanning the flames by flaunting their exploits on social media. It's an issue reflected around the country.
Adult crime, adult time.
Those laws proving a vote winner in last year's Queensland election, despite figures showing youth crime is actually down. In Victoria, though, it's at a 15-year high, while new stats in South Australia today show teen offending has hit record levels over the past 5 years.
We've got an instance of a single 14-year-old committing 131 crimes in a single year. It just seems like it's a case of rinse and repeat for many of these kids.
Those repeat offenders in every state skewing the stats skywards.
Crime by children is a symptom of underlying issues that we're just not addressing. Mental health issues, poverty and family dysfunction, trauma.
The nation's Children's Commissioner scathing of our hardline response.
The younger a child gets involved with the criminal justice system, the more likely they are then to go on to commit more crimes.
But back in Kempsey, locals just want it to stop. 76-year-old pensioner Marilyn Figgett says she's been broken into 17 times and had 20 cars stolen over the past 18 years.
Marilyn has a right to feel safe in her home, as does the whole community.
Marilyn is here to tell us more about her ordeal in Kempsey. Marilyn, this sounds just unbelievable for you. You've been targeted an extraordinary number of times. What's it been like for you?
It's been really, really, really shocking, actually. It's very terrifying. It's such an invasion of your privacy just to know that someone's in your home and taking your possessions, leaning over you with a torch in your face, and you're trying to lie there and pretend that it's not happening, and that if you close your eyes tight enough, they'll go away. It's very, very frightening.
Can you tell us a bit more, Marilyn, about some of those home invasions that you endured? I mean, were you fearful of your life? Is there one particular moment that stayed with you?
There's lots of moments that have stayed with me. Yes, I have feared for my life, and I've been in one side of my house knowing they were in the opposite side, and that any moment they would come up that hallway and I would be a target. On one particular occasion, I was so distressed, I had the phone on the bed next to me, and I heard some drawers pull out the front out here. And when I went to put my hand on the phone to ring, my hand wouldn't move. I was just frozen from head to foot. But I was really lucky because a neighbour had seen my light go out and saw someone go over my fence. So he rang, and the police were there in minutes. They were just marvellous. They just turned up in no time, and they got them. And I went to court with that one.
And when they break in, Marilyn, are they armed?
I've been really lucky. I've never had them armed. I'm not the only person that's had a home invasion. That's happening all the time. And one time they would just come and rob you, but now they carry machetes, they carry axes. They took a steel pole to a person that I know, and 4 of them bashed him with steel poles and I don't know what else. But yes, they are armed now.
It sounds absolutely horrendous. You mentioned the police there and that they came quickly the time that you were able to get them there. Locals, though, are saying that the police are not doing enough and we might have to create vigilante groups. Do you support that idea?
What I'm saying is the police are amazing. I've had the best experience with the police here. It then goes to court and the magistrate's hands are tied because they've got so much protocol to follow that they really can't do very much about it. But the vigilante group, no, I'm not in favour of vigilante groups because I know in my heart that someone will get killed and it's going to be some poor person who's just fed up. Either that or it'll be some of these kids. And either way, I don't want to see that happen.
Marilyn, it's such a horrible thing that you're going through there. Thank you very much for sharing your experience.
You're very welcome, and thank you for the opportunity to share.
OK, it's time for a break. We'll see you soon. Well, New South Wales, the police investigation into two nurses filmed making anti-Semitic comments has encountered significant delays. While the investigation has made solid progress, it's faced some hurdles given the central witness, Israeli influencer Max Pfeiffer, is based overseas.
We've had to work with our counterparts overseas to obtain a statement. We've now obtained the statement. We've now had to translate that statement to English to make it admissible in evidence in court here.
Pope Francis is continuing to battle ongoing health issues after blood tests today revealed indications of kidney failure. The Vatican has confirmed it is under control. That's despite the 88-year-old also battling double pneumonia and a complex lung infection. He remains in a critical condition in a Rome hospital since being admitted on February 14th.
Time now to see what else is making news around the world.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy says he's ready and raring to resign if it guarantees peace for Ukraine.
If to achieve peace you really need me to give up my post, I'm ready. I can trade it for NATO if there are such conditions.
Zelenskyy's comments come on the eve of the third anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine and only days after US President Donald Trump labelled him a dictator. It's been an historic election for Germany, with the country's Conservatives claiming major gains. While the centre-right CDU party claimed victory, it's the far-right AfD party that has the most to celebrate. It achieved the highest ever vote in a federal poll, the best ever result for a far-right party since World War II. The far left also made major gains, almost doubling its vote. And here's the ultimate rain check. US airline JetBlue has introduced a program that will reimburse you if it rains excessively on your holiday. The company will use historical weather data and trip length to determine if you meet the threshold and will reimburse you for all travel costs, including rental cars and planned activities.
Sounds a bit sus, that to me. I mean, have you ever tried claiming travel insurance and see how hard it is?
Yeah.
So you go there and you're laying by the pool and you get 3 drops of rain, so you got to pay me for my holiday.
No, did you?
Not 3
Did you listen to the story?
I listened to it.
Excessively.
If it rains.
Yeah, no, not at all. They look at what normally it would rain that time of year, and then if it's...
You'd buy a plane ticket based on that con, would you?
That con. It's a con.
Was it? How's it a con?
What leads in with them as well on the con? I'm with Pricey on this.
Really?
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't seem... I think it's sus. No one's trying to do something out of the goodness of their heart.
They're just encouraging you... So if you've got 2 plane tickets to choose from, and the one that offers potentially refund and the one that doesn't, you might choose that one.
Yeah, but what...
That's not a con.
But I looked it up. They're only flying to the Sahara Desert.
No, look.
Well, in that case...
You want to test it, just go to London for 5 minutes and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
It always rains there, right?
Yes.
Go to a water park, though, on a rainy day. No lines, no queues. It's straight in.
And you're wet anyway.
That's it.
Who wants to go to a water park?
I would love to go to
So, Steve, I think the problem is you just don't want to go anywhere.
I don't want to go wet anywhere.
Yeah. Now, guys, if I look a bit tired, have a look at me. It's because I was up all night watching the Fidos Awards. Now,
understandable.
For those not in the know that have been living under a goddamn rock, it's the 4 Incredible Dogs on Screen Awards. Obviously, we all know this. And the winning dog is definitely incredible. Sorry, I put the wrong VHS in the machine there. It's the wrong one. This is the winning dog.
The winning film is Deadpool and Wolverine, and the winner is Peggy.
Let's have a look at this dog, huh? Oh, boy. Was there a horrible accident on set? It looks like me after last year's Logies.
It's a long time in makeup for that.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
All right, more predict soon.
Welcome back.
All right, now, tennis legend Billie Jean King once said, champions keep playing until they get it right. And I've always had the same philosophy with this next segment. Fingers crossed, today is the day. It's time for... Let's do it. First to the US for some basketball, because I don't think legendary coach Kim Mulcahy will be thrilled with this camera work. Hey, more on the dish! Oh, boy.
Talking, looking disturbed.
Oh, boy. Get that woman a glass of white wine and a cigarette. Let's head to Melbourne because we all love a good buzzer beater. And they don't come much better than this hoik in Oak Park's under-12s game. Nice little move down the side here. Here we go. Isn't that amazing? That's incredible, isn't it? Incredible. Not the shot, that the ref didn't call the travel. That's crazy. That kid took 5 steps. Shot doesn't count, OK? Outrageous. Now, I reckon this NBA commentator probably regrets saying this on a live broadcast.
He hadn't played a lot, period. Kispert's going to turn it over. It looked like that ball was lathered in oil or something like that. Just slipped out of his hands.
Yeah, that was the P. Diddy move on his part. But Brook Lopez...
He had time to bail on it.
You saw him question it.
And we did it. He needs that oil to slip out of his next performance. I think.
He did it.
Let's talk cricket, right? Because there's a lot of talk about dodgy bowling actions at the moment, and they don't come much more suspect than this Afghan effort. Here he goes, now coming in. Oh, okay.
Oh,
hey, what?
I like that.
What? Wow. Wait. And tonked immediately. I'll tell you, I like it because it's one way to distract from the fact that you've been sandpapering the ball.
Makes cricket interesting.
Australia could have used it. Now, here's a tip. When you're playing tennis, it pays to keep your head on a swivel because absolutely anything can happen out there. So here we go, working on a forehand. Just, you know.
Oh! Jesus.
Jeez, you know your forehand's bad when God steps in. That's crazy, isn't it? Let's see. Can we see it again?
Yes, please.
What? The umpire called for new balls and underpants. All right, yeah, finally today someone asked me, they said, Sam, what's the most impressive athletic world record that you've seen recently? And without hesitation, I said the fastest time to limbo skate under descending poles over 50 metres.
Of course.
So here we go. Getting him to speed up. I like it. Now there she goes.
Oh, wow.
Jeez, look at this.
How good's that?
Unbelievable. Look at her go. Go. Unbelievable. Oh. Now, she also won the world record for most scratched nipples. And I don't think...
Really?
I don't think for that.
Look, I'm just saying, I just read the facts. I read the facts here. But also, I don't think it's that impressive. Pricey could do that without even doing the splits.
Now you're in trouble.
Hey, guys, that was... Oh, wait. Gotcha. Here we go. Fascinating.
How do you think that went?
I think I'll have another go next week.
Have another go next week? Yeah. OK, I think Steve agrees.
Yeah.
We are off to a break. We'll see you soon.
Let's get some more news now. And Bruce Lerriman has faced a Hobart court today, accused of stealing a car. Police allege the 29-year-old stole a Toyota Prado from Mountain River, southwest of Hobart, late last year. Lerriman appeared via phone and did not enter a plea. He's due to reappear in June.
Our banks have been caught out doing the dirty on customers after last week's rate cut. So new data shows they've slashed savings rates at lightning speed. So that's the amount of interest that customers earn on their savings. But they are being a lot slower when it comes to passing on last week's rate cut for borrowers. Worse still, some banks have slashed saving rates by more than the Reserve Bank, with cuts of up to 0.35%. Sally Tyndall is the Director of Data Insights at CanStar. Sally, is it so hard to pass on the RBA's rate cut to borrowers?
I think the banks will tell you that it's legacy systems, it's all too hard, and there's too many mortgage customers. Look, I think that if they wanted to, they could work out a way to pass this on a lot quicker. And to be fair, they have been passing on the home loan cuts in the same speed as they've been passing on the hikes. That's one thing. But really, come on. Borrowers have been looking forward to this relief for years. Pass it on as quickly as possible. Let's get the relief into the pockets of people that need it.
If they have too many customers, do you think they'd be open to the idea of giving some of them up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Not a bad idea. They could give them up to some of the low-cost lenders, and if you do that, you might see an even bigger cut on your mortgage repayments. That would be fantastic.
Well, Sally, let's look after the customers. What's your advice to them? What should bank customers be doing right now?
Take your nest egg shopping for a better savings rate. We estimate that even once this rate cut filters through, there will be around 6 banks still offering interest rates for savers that start with a 5, in fact, that are over 5%. It can save you or earn you thousands of dollars extra interest over, a couple of years, depending on your size of your nest egg, obviously. But if you shop around, you will really see it deliver in spades. To give you an example of that, Westpac's eSaver, after this rate cut gets filtered through, their rate is dropping for ongoing customers to a paltry 1.00%. I would say it's chicken feed, but that's offensive to chicken feed. Yet we think that the highest ongoing savings rates will be still around 5.25% after this cut.
So, sorry, can we just be clear? When you say take your nest egg shopping, you don't mean that literally. You mean check out the other banks and see what you can get. I just am worried there are all these people who are picking up their nest eggs right now and heading straight down to the pub.
Yeah, don't take your nest egg shopping to buy handbags or expensive shoes.
Right, okay,
you take your nest egg shopping to switch banks to get a better interest rate, and you will see that nest egg grow beautifully.
Sally, lovely to talk. Thank you. Thank you. And it's bad news for angry blokes. They're seen as less intelligent by their female partners. A new study has found a link between a man's anger and relationship satisfaction. The angrier he is, the more miserable the relationship.
What a surprise.
Yeah, now experts say compassion, kindness and keeping a cool head make men appear more competent.
You agree with that?
Do you know...
This is
Be
loaded.
very careful.
You sound angry already.
Be very
What's the
careful.
saying? You can the measure of a man is how he reacts on a rainy day when he loses his luggage, or how he deals with tangled Christmas tree lights.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
What are we...
Angry in general. You wake up angry. You're angry at lunchtime and you go to bed angry.
Yeah.
Is that
I don't know anyone like that.
You
but
wouldn't know.
It's not the same as just being angry for professional purposes on Talkback Radio.
Yes.
Is it, Steve? That's a very different sort of...
That's
thing.
very hard.
You're not even that angry. People think you're angry, but I've gotten to know you. You're a very calm, chill
Well, you
guy.
reckon I'm faking, do you?
No, I'm actually... No.
But here's a question.
Hang on.
Don't get into me.
You already said
Don't get
angry.
stuck into me, mate.
I was trying to say you're not stupid, is what I was saying.
Do you find that attractive?
I'm very much so. Very much so.
Is it the angrier a man is, the more miserable the relationship, or the more miserable a relationship is, the angrier a man becomes?
It doesn't say what the cause is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're taking this far too seriously.
Okay.
I'm one of the rare men that's both calm and stupid. So take that one.
Former Q, ladies. This next story will give you goosebumps. It will restore your faith in humanity, and it will leave you wondering, how do you thank someone for saving your life?
Ambulance emergency. Well, I've got a young fellow at the moment at soccer training. He collapsed on the ground now. He's semi-unconscious, not responding.
I just saw him kind of on the floor trying to grasp for air.
I came back a few seconds later and someone yelled, he's got no pulse.
I was wailing. I just kept going, I cannot lose him. I cannot lose him.
We were just having a committee meeting that night at the field. And then I got a call from my little brother that said that he had a kid collapse on the field. He was worried, asked me to come down.
I'm just sitting in my car waiting for the boys to finish. I got a phone call. It was just Rose saying, Xavier's collapsed with asthma. Can you go and see if he's all right? So ran out on the field and it's when it got a bit crazy.
We thought it was an asthma attack. As time went on, we realised that something else was happening to him.
I picked him up and ran off the field up to the basketball courts clubhouse. I needed to get my car, so I just passed him off to 2 other people and said, I'll be back in a second.
I felt his body go kind of limp, so I put him on the ground and then started CPR.
Everyone started running and call 000.
How old is he? 12.
Is he still breathing?
No, can't confirm that he's breathing at the moment.
All right, if there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
I got there pretty quickly, and at that point he was gone, laying on the floor, and Jared was doing CPR.
I couldn't see any breathing. I couldn't see any movement in his chest.
Temperature's hard and fast, at least twice per second and 5 centimetres deep, okay? We've got multiple ambulances on their way.
It's a sort of call that paramedics
don't want to hear a young child who's in cardiac arrest with CPR being performed. Well, many of our paramedics are actually parents of young children. It's a difficult role to play, one where we have to suppress our own emotions as we're making our way towards the job.
Is his parents nearby? Yes, his mum is nearby. Okay. We're just trying to calm her down. Yeah, of course. You guys are giving him the best chance.
I removed his shirt and got him ready for the defibs.
The first shock goes off and there's no pulse. And you wait for the next shock. Still nothing. And I, at that point, was just praying to everybody and everything to just please bring my boy back. It's not your time.
At one point, I didn't think that I could bring him back or didn't think that he would come back.
About 300 metres away, Nick Bieshel was stocking up on snacks at the local supermarket.
I just grabbed a few things in the basket and this alarm started going off. Then I suddenly realised it was my phone.
Nick is one of 9,000 New South Wales volunteers who've signed up to the life-saving Good Sam mobile app. Qualified first aiders get an alert when someone nearby goes into cardiac arrest. If they're willing and able, the volunteer provides CPR until the paramedics arrive.
Because those first few minutes, if they're closest to that patient, will make the difference.
Started running out of the shops across the road and then straight over here to the soccer club. It was quite a confronting scene. There was a boy laying on the ground, lifeless.
He was next to me at one point, and I remember him turning around saying, if I need a break, he's there.
I just dropped down to my knees and just got straight into it. The things run through your head like, do I push too hard? Am I pushing too soft? Is what I'm doing helping? But, at that stage, anything's better than nothing.
I remember Xavier just getting pushed flat. They were really going for it. I don't remember the face. If that person walked in the door right now, I wouldn't know him. It's sort of an unsung Superman story. Fly in, do your deed, and then go away.
I'm no hero or anything like that. I just wanted to do what I'd hope anyone would do for any family member of mine.
Xavier's heart stopped beating for up to 20 minutes.
3 shocks of defibrillator. He managed to come back. However, at that point, his lungs had filled with so much blood that he was then drowning in his blood.
Even though he did have his heartbeat back, he was still quite unstable, so we had to act quickly to try to stabilise him.
Feeling him go limp in my arms was the scariest part, and then his mum's face, watching how worried and scared she was, definitely upset me.
I was trying my best just to try to comfort her and console her while driving to hospital, but we don't know what the outcome would be. We don't know what his chances of survival are.
Only 12% of Aussies who go into cardiac arrest outside of hospital and receive resuscitation survive.
Because it felt like the longest drive of my life. From there, he was in resus, ICU for a week and then in a coma. At first, I didn't think he'd last 24 hours. He did. Then they were waiting for the brain swelling to go down to see what the damage would be.
The main risk is brain damage, or damage to the heart muscle itself. And it's a testament to the people who gave him that initial CPR that they managed to provide good blood flow to his brain and his kidneys and his heart, that he didn't sustain any injury to those organs.
I was really confused when I woke up. I had no idea what was happening. I just saw a bunch of tubes and stuff in me.
We figured out that both of his coronary arteries were abnormal. No one ever knew because he'd never had any problems before. We decided to do a coronary bypass surgery.
They said to us that means we need to stop his heart again and his lungs. So as a mum, I was a mess because I thought, I've just got him back.
This was the best chance for him to have a normal life and go back to playing sport.
But he came out and he came through it. His survival was definitely a miracle.
Extremely lucky. 9 out of 10 children or even adults would have died that day.
What was amazing was that everybody just banded together. And it was because of how quickly they acted that he's able to tell his story, and he's walking around almost pretty perfect.
I definitely use it to get out of stuff like chores and schoolwork. And yeah, I just say, I woke up for your mum.
Xavier and his family have yet to meet the mysterious Good Samaritan.
I think he deserves a thank you, at the very least, to say you helped save his life. You dropped everything and you ran. and you didn't need to.
And 6 months on, they're finally meeting the ordinary bloke who didn't hesitate to save a stranger.
I'm Nick. Tom. Xavier. Hello. Miss Rose.
I'm Rose.
So happy to see you here and, look like you're doing really well.
There's nothing we can ever do to thank you, I think.
No, well, you don't need to thank me.
I do.
I
definitely do. He wouldn't be here otherwise.
Acutely aware of how fortunate he was, Xavier and his mum are now on a mission to help others.
DFibs are an amazing thing. I think they need to be at every sporting ground, but coaches and managers are also trained in first aid. The least we can do as associations and clubs is to provide the training for them if they are ever in this situation.
But for today, it's all about celebrating the team of extraordinary first responders who brought a boy back from the brink.
I'm so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you and the part and role that you had in Xavier's journey.
People that react in the moment, the bystanders, they really make the most difference.
There is no amount of gratitude that we could ever pay to anyone who was part of his journey, because if it wasn't for absolutely everybody there on that night, he wouldn't be here.
Oh, wow. That was an incredible story.
Yeah, really,
incredible.
really was.
Would you know what to do?
No. Well, it was funny as that was going to air, you were talking, because you obviously know a lot about this.
Look, I haven't had to use it, thankfully, but when my kids were little, you learn it, but you can't. I was sort of saying, how many breaths and compressions is it? And but would you be confident enough to use it in that situation? I mean, we saw that wonderful Good Samaritan just get in there and do it and save a life.
At the point he made, anything's better than nothing.
What saved him was that app on the phone. It's
incredible.
For the volunteer. I mean, I didn't even know that existed.
No.
Neither did I.
And defibs everywhere. I mean, remember when Kerry Packer nearly died and he then started paying for defibs to be installed in sporting places.
Yeah.
People need to know how to use those as well.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
In the same way you used to have public phone boxes. There's no reason that you couldn't do something like that.
Yeah. If you want to know more about the Good Sam app, you can head to our website. No, he's better Sam. For more details.
After a break, see you.
This is The Project. Welcome back.
Well, they've dominated for decades, but now the once formidable baby boomers' electoral power is waning. So who will decide the outcome of the election and how will it reshape our nation?
Baby boomers, born between 1946 and 1964. By 1982, Australia's biggest generation and single largest voting bloc.
There have been a lot of policies that have been tailored at wooing that baby boomer vote. A lot of them have been around the pension, the assets test, access to concessional healthcare cards. Many of the baby boomers did get free degrees. They benefited from changes around negative gearing. They've got a lot of goodies over the years.
Their political power has helped decide elections.
Baby boomers were hugely important for re-electing John Howard year after year. He was all over changes to the pension, making sure that, as he saw it, that the system was fair for self-funded retirees.
Yeah! And behind Bill Shorten's 2019 election defeat, a likely tidal wave of baby boomer fury over attacks on their favourite tax breaks. Now, the balance of power is tipping for the first time in decades. Gen Z and Millennial voters set to outnumber the boomers almost 50% to around 33%. And as grey power politics wanes, both sides of politics are pivoting their policies this election. From education...
A re-elected Labor government will wipe another 20% off your student debt.
Amazing. Thanks, Albo.
To housing affordability.
Mr Albanese, on your watch, the dream of home ownership has disappeared.
To training.
Apprentices, this one's for you. With $10,000 extra cash.
Albanese and Dutton tapping into podcasts in the pursuit of the youth vote.
Can you imagine this bloke ever thinking of getting a policy that was aimed solely at women's reproductive health?
I think a lot of young males feel disenfranchised and feel ostracised
We're starting to see a gender divide in Gen Z. So younger men are starting to sort of cozy up to the coalition.
But Gen Z and Millennials aren't quite as predictable as their boomer predecessors.
Younger people are more likely to shift allegiances. Yes, they have progressive leanings, but that does not necessarily mean, the Labor Party is coming back.
So as the torch passes and the older order crumbles, what does this mean for our nation?
What a campaign ad that is.
Yeah,
I'll vote for
I
whoever
just
did
think the
that.
demographic's too wide, 18 to 44.
It's a big...
it's huge.
The difference between, say, 25 and 35 or 35 and 44, let's go 30 to 44.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the people who've been hit hardest with the cost of living. They're the ones who are trying to pay off their mortgage. They're trying to put their kids through school.
If they've got a mortgage.
And all of that.
Yeah.
So to automatically think they're going to vote Labor, I think they're angry that the economy's like it is. So to say the boomers are just going to disappear and these people are going to move in, that's not going to happen.
The interesting part of this story, I don't think, is does it mean Labor wins or the coalition wins. The interesting part is about what the policy fight ends up looking like, right? And so I think it's really interesting. The fact that, Labor, for example, are going out hard on something like student debt or education, we would never have seen that. I know it's kind of become a bit of an issue under the cost of living crisis, but it just wouldn't have been a vote winner. It'd just be that's not worth
Is it
chasing.
though? Because there was one poll that came out only a couple of weeks ago that found about 50% of those who vote in Gen Z are only voting to avoid a fine.
Yeah.
And that's because 20% of them think that their vote doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's probably right. And that's the great Australian tradition, is you vote to avoid a fine. But it does influence the way
Just
our
a warning,
politics goes on.
we're not dead yet.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about that.
Also, I've got a podcast if any of the leaders want to come on it as well. We can connect with the youth. Really good stuff. Get at it. Now to Melbourne, where this woman awoke to would-be robbers trying to find her car keys. It's terrifying stuff. But this lady was so chill about it, and she kind of became their life coach.
I was downstairs with them, negotiating about the car key, and I kept telling them, don't do this. This is really silly. You steal the car, you will go to jail. It's, ruining your own life.
Yeah, worse than a jail sentence is that she's not angry, she's just disappointed. We all agree. Now, not only was she happy to offer life advice, she was also, prepared to help him out.
Yeah, I went to get my keys from the bag. They started putting their hands into my handbag, and I couldn't even hold my handbag up. And I'm like, guys, I can just get, your... shooting yourselves in the foot. It'll be quicker if I just get this out for you.
Yeah.
What if you remain silent? I don't know.
What a lady, huh? She also gave him $50 in case her car broke down. A great Australian right there.
We're off to a break. We'll predict soon.
Well, our next guest is a walking safety hazard on and off stage.
Normally, like this stage, there's a bit of fluorescent gaffer tape along the front of the stage to show you where the front of the stage is so you don't fall off. Anyway, I walk out and they just sort of see this Ellen DeGeneres lookalike appear out of the smoke and I'm like, hello, good evening, and fall straight off the stage into the front row, bang, into the front row of the theatre. I'd fallen on this 80-year-old woman. And she was lovely. Her name was Norma. And we got to know each other quite well. And she started stroking my head and saying, it's fine, love, it's fine. And then she breastfed me, which was fantastic because I had not eaten that day.
Please welcome Joel Creasey.
Intellectual comedy. That's what I do best.
You're British now, are you?
Well, OK, let's go if it
But
sells
this
tickets.
workshop's closed for Mrs. Joel Creasey. Hey, you are quite accident prone. I want to show everyone at home the aftermath of another accident you had.
Yes.
What happened?
Pricey, you'd understand. You get to a certain age and you start to have falls. And happy birthday, by the way. The worst part was I was stone cold sober in the middle of the day, ordered Uber Eats. I did a Tom Cruise in cocktail slide to the stairs, and then I went tumbling down 10 metres of stairs. And being a narcissist finally came in handy, and instead of putting my hands out, I covered my head and just tumbled my face.
Yeah, you need the face.
Well, yes, and as I tumbled down the stairs, it's the money maker.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of money on it, and all I thought was, has anyone else famous died today? Like, what page? That's why I'll never take the 8 a.m. flight after the Logies.
10 metres.
10 metres.
Yeah.
Broke 5 ribs.
5 ribs?
Probably should have died, so I apologise to those people that were like, damn it! Yeah. And you get no sympathy for ribs because they're,
I understand.
So you're so lucky to have me here, guys.
Clearly.
Yeah, so lucky.
But the thing is, it's not your only accident. You had a car boot situation.
So I'm one of those awful people. I'm mad for an ice bath, as in like
all the rage at the
yeah. And I was getting ice out of the boot of my car, and the boot of my car has one of those electronic doors that shuts, and it was half open, and I was right in there getting the ice out, and then it decided to shut, and it like scooped me up into the boot of the car. I was like, all right, here I go, and into the boot of the car, and I was trapped in there for half an hour. I didn't realise there's a button you can hit because I'm just freaking out. Yeah, there is. And I'm lying on this ice like a piece of salmon waiting to be delivered somewhere. And Jack's upstairs playing PlayStation with the cans on, so I'm just screaming like mad in the boot of my car.
So what did you do? How'd you get out?
Yeah, how'd you get out?
I found the button, didn't I?
Where is the button? Just public service announcement, because I didn't know about the button.
Yeah,
Where's the button?
It's pretty obvious. It's right in the middle where the handle is on the other side.
What a surprise. 4 men on the panel who don't know where the button is.
Speak for yourself.
Neighbours I know where my button is.
There's a lot about cars, Price.
Neighbours has gone again.
I
didn't
realise
that.
Twice.
I have to apologise. I didn't catch Mick Alsop.
You didn't see?
I didn't, I'm sorry.
The great Mick Alsop.
I've never seen an episode of Neighbours, but you were great in it.
Villain.
You were great.
I was the villain. I was the local gay stalker. They didn't even specify who I stalked. I just had a passion for stalking. and then they kept writing like unnecessary backstory for me. Like I caught the bus to Erinsborough and I'm staying at the Backpackers. And I ended up having to go into the writers and said, like, have I offended somebody? Because this is the worst character ever written. he ended up running the local fashion show in Erinsborough had a fashion week. I ran it.
No, they do a lot of stuff.
Did you love doing it though?
I absolutely loved it. Thank you for the opportunity, Channel 10.
So if there is in the next finale,
I'm moving to Summer Bay. Yeah, I'm becoming
crossing the street.
Yeah, I'm becoming a bra boy or whatever they're called.
From Yabby Creek.
River boy.
Yeah, River boy. No, I'm all like Trinny and Susanna, just fixing people up. You know, what a reference.
Now Mardi Gras is coming up. You've hosted for years.
Yes.
Before we get you get out of here, what are some of your favourite memories?
My favourite memory was Cher on the Qantas float. So Qantas picked 100 of the gayest flight attendants. They picked 100 flight attendants and Cher was with them and I got to interview Cher and I said, Cher, are you enjoying Sydney? And Cher said, woo, I'm Cher.
That was it.
That was it. Best answer, better answer to the question I asked.
you know what? It's such an all-purpose answer.
Yeah.
Right?
You could ask her absolutely any question.
Yes.
And then,
It was weird that I saw you doing that the other night and we bumped into each other at the tennis.
Well, yeah, that's true. But then I interviewed Cher and she rubs off on all of us.
He's got the glitter to prove it.
Yeah.
Joel's show, thanks for being here, ironically, is what I would say to him now. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Details of where you get tickets all around the country on our website. Please say Joel Creasey.